Sunram. Sunram finds an OC left pocket three on the way. Tickles it Twine.
Now it's Maddie Bass on the drive. Bass, nice move, and Bass with an easy layup.
To the feet, Ruppel brought back down. O'Connor, though, lost the grab and down to the mat. Ruppel with a chance for a pin with a minute 15. There it is.
Pick and roll, Kaloran hooks it underneath, and a bunny for Hannig.
Right side to Charlie Shaw. Shaw looks right, drives in, attacks the double team, and splits him for the layup.
Alston Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
All right, welcome everybody. This is yourliveevent.com, and we're here for the North Dakota High School Activities Association Girls State Dual Team Tournament. We have the Lisbon Broncos taking on the Minot Jets. That's your duel here coming up on yourliveevent.com, as the Lisbon Broncos are the number 3 team out of the East. They wrestle the number 2 team out of the West. That's the Minot Jets, and that's your dual action coming up for the North Dakota High School Girls State Dual Tournament. And we also will have coverage for the Central Cass versus Dickinson girls dual team, and that one also on yourliveevent.com. We also have the North Dakota Class B dual tournament covered down there by Brady Siebel. So if you're looking for the Carrington dual team out there for the North Dakota Class B boys duels, you can also catch that on yourliveevent.com. So we have triple coverage and triple streams going for the dual team tournament here for the North Dakota State duels, and we will step away, take over from our sponsors, come back for our pre-tournament show here on yourliveevent.com.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
In a world of chaos, you need superhero-level protection.
I keep telling everyone they need to get the right protection for their lifestyle. Some do. We do.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Get the right protection for your lifestyle. Go to IRIinsurance.com to get a free quote and consultation.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
All right, welcome back here, liveevent.com. This is your pre-tournament show here, your IRI Insurance pre-tournament show. Get the insurance protection you want with the customer service you deserve at IRI Insurance to cover it all out from your home, auto, crop, commercial benefits. Go to IRIinsurance.com to get a free quote. This is your IRI pre-tournament show with your North Dakota Girls State Dual Tournament, the Lisbon Broncos versus the Minot Jets. The Broncos come in as the number 3 team out of the East region, and Lisbon made their way into this dual tournament by finishing in 3rd place at the North Dakota Girls East Region Dual Team Tournament, and that was back on the 8th of February. Lisbon had a first-round match, or first-round duel, I should say. That was in the quarterfinals against the South Border Mustangs. They defeated the Mustangs in that East Region Girls Dual Tournament by a score of 48-30. Then they took on Central Cass in the in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals, where Lisbon was defeated by Centracast 57-15. That put them in the wrestlebacks and the consolation rounds, and they defeated Pembina County North by a score of 54-21. Then faced South Border once again. South Border wrestled back all the way through, and Lisbon defeated South Border once again 45-30 this time. So that's how Lisbon made it into the North Dakota State Girls Dual Tournament. Lisbon also throughout the year has had a number of duels, and according to Coach Jake Revere, they've had approximately 18 duels getting ready, and all coming down to the Saturday here for the North Dakota State Girls Dual Tournament. Girls making their first appearance in the dual tournament for the Lisbon Broncos, so they're very excited about that and looking for a lot of support from the Lisbon crowd. If you're following along there at home, just thanks for tuning in to the broadcast here on YourLiveEvent.com. The broadcast of this tournament has been authorized by special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Association, as we will continue our IRE pre-tournament show here on YourLiveEvent.com. The Lisbon Broncos face the Minot Majets. We'll take a look at our state girls tournament. So Minot, on the individual side, they finished in first place in that state girls wrestling tournament with 158 points. And also with a number of place winners for the Minot Majets. So they had state place winners at 106 pounds with Monica Boyke. 112 pounds was Kylie Schlotz. 118 pounds is Madison Racine, a state runner-up. 130 pounds, Haley Carr. 136 pounds, 148 pounds was Claire Fagley. And then they had a state champion at 155 pounds, Macy Boyce. A state runner-up at 215 pounds, Jaden Fletcher. And then 100 pounds, they had Ella Brown. So a number of state place winners here on the Minot Majets team. Coming into this duel, the Lisbon Broncos had state place winners at 155 pounds with Ava Carblum. And then at 136 pounds with Emerson Schwab, 190 pounds with Nevaeh Buffett placing fifth. And then Ella Sad placing fourth. So those are 4 state place winners for the Lisbon Broncos on this squad as they come into this dual tournament with the Minot Majets. The Broncos, the number 3 team out of the West. The Majets, the number 3 team, or number 3 team out of the East. The Majets, the number 2 team out of the West. And that's your matchup here just ahead. Wrestling gets started at 11:30. That's when the duels will kick off inside the dome, as we all have the girls dual team tournament along with the boys, both on the A and B side, into their consolation round. So that's just ahead here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley school districts in Page and Fingal, North Dakota. If you're interested in an egg loan, real estate, consumer, commercial, or HELOC, give Dwight a call at either branch location. Reach out to Janine about investing in a certificate of deposit or save by opening a money market account. Proudly supporting the Maple River Raiders and wishing the athletes and coaches a successful year. Hometown Community Bank is an equal housing lender and member of the FDIC. Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Tick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at YourLiveEvent.com.
All right, welcome back to YourLiveEvent.com. This is your IRE Insurance pre-tournament show for the Lisbon girls dual team. Lisbon will take on the number 2 team out of the West, the Minot Majets. Lisbon Broncos yesterday in that state tournament, they finished it out in 9th place for the Lisbon Broncos in that individual state tournament. On the girls' side, the Broncos scoring 69 points, so a good team effort by Lisbon. They brought 8 wrestlers into this tournament on the individual side, and they placed 4 of those. Broncos also had state entrants with Maddie Krellen at 112 pounds, Lila Gillespie at 124 pounds, 136 pounds was 4th place finisher Emerson Schwab. 155 pounds was the state runner-up Ava Carblum. So we will see that number 1, number 2 matchup here at 155 pounds between Ava Carblum for the Lisbon Broncos. And then she will face the state champion, Macy Boyce, of the Minot Jets, so likely get to see that matchup again. The Broncos also, with some of their other state entrants, in their finishes, they had Cora Oster at 170 pounds was a state qualifier. Also, Nevaeh Buffett placed 5th at 190 pounds. And then we had Ella Sad for the Lisbon Broncos. She placed 4th. And another state entrant was Leilene Oster at 190 pounds. So the Broncos with a little bit of depth in their upper weights. Also, those lower weights able to throw a few wrestlers in there. So look to see the different changes and different matchups that Coach Jake Revere has in mind as he faced the number 2 team out of the West, the Minot Jets. Take another look at Minot with their state tournament finish on the individual side. Go back through their state place winners and some of their state qualifiers. So they also, at 100 pounds, they had Ella Brown with a 5th place finish. At 106 pounds, Monica Boyke placed 4th. Kylie Schlotz at 112 pounds placed 4th. 118 pounds, they had a state runner-up in Madison Racine. 130 pounds, Haley Carr placed 6th. They had a state qualifier at 136, Peyton Russell. Another state qualifier at 142, Riley Hansen. A 5th place finisher at 148 pounds, that was Claire Hegley. And then that state champion at 155, Macy Boyish, likely face Ava Carbon, state runner-up. And then at 250 pounds, they had state runner-up Jadens Fletcher. So looking for some good head-to-head matchups. Some state place winners back at it here from the Thursday-Friday state girls tournament between the Lisbon Broncos here in the dual side and the Minot Jets. And that's just ahead on YourLiveEvent.com. Just like to remind you that we will also have coverage of that Central Cass girls quarterfinal matchup. And that will be covered by Chase Miller. So Chase will have that coverage on a separate stream. And then we're also covering the Carrington boys as they go through the dual tournament. Also on YourLiveEvent.com, you can catch that stream as well. And that's down there on the other end of the Fargo Dome with Brady Siebels. And just look at some of your other first-round duels here, quarterfinal duels on the girls. We have Central Cass, the number 1 team out of the East, faces the number 4 team out of the West, Dickinson. Then you have the West number 2, Minot, faces the East number 3, Lisbon. The West number 1, Bismarck Legacy, faces the East number 4, South Border Mustangs. And then the East number 2, Grand Forks. The Night Riders face the number 3 West team. That's the Bismarck Demons. So those are your first-round quarterfinal matchups here at the North Dakota Girls State Dual Team Tournament. This is your IRE pre-tournament show. We'll continue on, see if we can find some of the results from the, I guess, the earlier boys dual team tournament. Those first-round duels just completed inside the Fargo Dome. And we'll take a quick look on the Class B side. On the Class B side, it was Velva defeating Pembina County by a score of 46-24. Oaks makes it into the semifinals as they defeated Williams County by a score of 31-30. That came down to that 145-pound matchup. So Oaks will face Velva on the boys' side in the semifinals. And then South Border Mustangs down the Carrington Cardinals by a score of 43-22. And Bowman County defeated New Salem Almont by a score of 41-28. So your other semifinal matchup in that North Dakota Class B duel is going to be the South Border Mustangs taking on the Bowman County Beach. As we are getting ready for our first matches here, looks like we're starting at 142 pounds here on the girls' side. So that's Veda Carblum out there for the Lisbon Broncos. Veda, a state qualifier a year ago for Lisbon. And we'll just have to wait to see who the other wrestlers are. So get a lot of these matchups. The coach is moving wrestlers around. That's Riley Hansen taking on Veda Carblum. So right away out the start of the match, that's a 3-point takedown for Riley Hansen. Hansen in the top position. They're working a screwdriver on that far edge of the mat. Has Carblum belly down. Carblum on the hip, trying to scoot those hips up underneath her, get back to her base, just working that far center edge of the mat. They're over about halfway across the Fargo Dome, over there on mat number 6. So the girls taking up the center mats here in their quarterfinal actions. They have the consolation boys duels going on the east and the west ends of the Fargo Dome. The girls take the center stage for their quarterfinals. And after that restart, back to center of the mat. Carblum in the bottom position. Riley Hansen, they're running a screwdriver on her. They're in the center of the mat. Hansen really working this over. Down to 51 seconds in the first period. It's a 3-0 lead here for Riley Hansen. So Hansen with the lead. She's working up underneath. And Carblum able to get back belly down. And they go off the center of the mat, or I should say off the edge of the mat. They're back to the center. It's a 3-0 lead in this match for Riley Hansen. They go back to the center for a restart. There is approximately 31 seconds remaining in the first period. So Hansen, a state qualifier for Minot. She's wrestling Veda Carblum of the Lisbon Broncos. That's still a 3-0 score. And Veda for Lisbon, a junior, 15-26. She was a state qualifier a year ago for Lisbon. Riley Hansen, a junior for the Majets with a 29-10 record. And the flip of the disc, that's deferred over by Carblum. So Carblum will defer over to Riley Hansen. Not sure why Trevor, so the official out there, Trevor Kittleson, flipped the disc, but they should already have that decided who has choice in the odds or evens. I think he just did it out of habit. Working 2 days of that individual tournament. I'm sure he flipped that disc a few hundred times. In that, off the whistle, Carblum's in the bottom position, so Hansen looks like she decided to take that top position. Carblum off the whistle, tried to stand up. Hansen was able to return her back down to the mat. And Hansen has Carblum over, working for a fall here for the Majets. The official down there takes a look at it, and the pin over here for Riley Hansen of Minot. So now the Majets will take the early lead up 6-0 over the Broncos. 148 pounds. Look for Lisbon to have Alexis Ranke out there. Ranke also a state qualifier a year ago for the Broncos. Just look at the Majets at 148 pounds. They had Claire Fegley place 5th at the state tournament. We'll see if there's any change to that lineup by either teams. And that matchup now underway. So it is Claire Fegley, placed 5th at the state tournament, wrestling Lisbon's Alexis Ranke. The wrestlers just holding the center of the mat with the minute 45. That's in the first period. 6-0 lead in the duel here for the Majets. And Carblum, I should say Alexis Ranke, working a collar tie on Claire Fegley. Fegley doing the same thing, just working collar tie, center of the mat, doing a lot of pushing on each other. So our dual score right now is 6-0 in favor of Minot. They picked up a pin at 142 pounds. And that's a single leg shot there by Fegley. A good sprawl down block by Ranke. Now Fegley goes up, has a body lock. So she does have a body lock on Ranke. Ranke's kind of up over the top. See if she can bulldog her down. Ranke has had it locked up over the top on Fegley. Fegley's going to take her down to the mat. Works into a head and arm right away here for Fegley. Working for a fall and a pin by the official. So once Claire Fegley was able to get Ranke down to the mat, took her right to her back. And that's a win by fall. And now it's 12-0. So 12-0 lead for Minot. Minot the number 2 team out of the West. They were the state individual champions on the girls' side yesterday. They have a lot of firepower in their lineup. And now at 155 pounds, we will have the state runner-up here with Ava Carblum. So Carblum, the state runner-up at 155. And she is wrestling the state champion, Macy Boyce. So this is a rematch of that state championship match yesterday here on mat number 6 in the girls state dual team tournament. Carblum, 2-time state place winner now for the Broncos. Placed 3rd last year. Made another run at it this year with a state runner-up finish. And just working collar ties, doing a lot of hand fighting underneath over there. Carblum goes back in. Macy Boyce working on the right wrist and arm. Carblum's trying to drag down, so she's reaching across kind of the opposite wrist and arm. It's trying to drag down Macy Boyce back to the center of the mat. Wrestlers still doing a lot of stance motion, pushing and shoving out there. And now a double leg shot here for Boyce. She gets in on the guard inside on Carblum, picks her up. Carblum with the heavy hips, able to keep those feet on the mat. Boyce had her elevated, but Carblum was able to keep those hips down, not give up any position on that. So we're still scoreless in the first period with 40 seconds remaining. And now wrestlers, there's a shot, little shot by Carblum. Boyce doing a good job tying up this left hand and arm on Carblum. Now Carblum's going to go. She's going to pass the wrist. They're still on their feet in the center of the mat with 15 seconds remaining. Carblum changes levels. Posting overtie on Boyce. Boyce and Carblum, a lot of pushing and shoving. There was that double leg shot by Macy Boyce. That Carblum was able to keep those hips down, keep the toes on the mat. Boyce not able to return her, and we're going into the second period. It's a defer by Carblum over to Boyce. So Boyce with the choice will pick neutral with Carblum. So that's a scoreless first period. And going into the second. I'll take a look and see what that match score was, if I can get that up here. And wrestlers still up on their feet with 1:28 to go. Carblum and Boyce still doing a lot of hand fighting in the center of the mat, working through that head and hands defense, a lot of pushing. Boyce just had that one good double leg shot, not able to get Carblum down in the first period. So here's Macy Boyce pushing into Carblum. Carblum's trying to circle back around. Still the wrestlers doing a lot of pushing, shoving, working collar ties. Big collar tie now by Carblum. She goes double collars. Wrestling 155 pounds. This is the state champion, Macy Boyce of Minot, wrestling the state runner-up at 155, Ava Carblum of the Broncos. That's one of the great things, cool things about these dual terms. You see these matchups or rematches. They don't always go the way that you'd expect them. Carblum back in on the wrist, pushing on Boyce. Boyce circles back around to the center of the mat. Now Carblum, a little more pushing. Now goes collars, goes in deep on Boyce. Boyce pushes her back. The wrestler still in the center of the mat, just a lot of collars, and we're scoreless with 5 seconds remaining. So we are scoreless at the end of the second period between Macy Boyce and Ava Carblum. Take a look at these other girls' quarterfinal duels. You have Center Cass up 6-0 over Dickinson. That's at 148 pounds. Currently, it's Emerson Flady of Center Cass wrestling Clancy Meyer. Meyer has the 14-0 lead in that. That's at the end of the second period. Then on the duel between Grand Forks and Bismarck, the Bismarck Demons are up 18-6 over Grand Forks. That's at 190 pounds. And then your other girls' quarterfinal duel, that's between Bismarck Legacy and the South Border Mustangs. Right now, Bismarck Legacy leads that by a score of 24-6. Over here on the mat, number 6 with the Lisbon Broncos and the Minot Majets. It's a 12-0 lead for Minot. Minot picking up wins at 142 and 148 pounds. We're scoreless here at 155 pounds. Between the state champion, state runner-up, they're back at it on their feet. It was a one-point escape, I should say, here for Carblum. Now Boyce with a nice double leg shot. Carblum's going to sprawl out. So he comes back, uses the heavy hips on Boyce. Boyce did another shot. Carblum still wants to wrestle up over the top on Boyce. Boyce has had a couple good shots, just Carblum too strong right now. On her feet, Boyce not able to get any elevation on these double legs and single leg shots. Carblum able to keep her balance. Keeps her feet on the mat. So it's a 1-0 lead for Ava Carblum with a minute remaining. Now Boyce is on another shot on Carblum. Takes her down straight to her back. Carblum's able to roll through, and we're 3-1 score here for Macy Boyce up in this match. Now 3-1. As she kept on working, shooting. And now it looks like maybe a technical violation or potentially dangerous. So it was potentially dangerous. They're still 3-1. Macy Boyce of Minot has the lead. So Carblum just didn't look like she wanted to shoot or take any shots on Boyce. Now Carblum up to her feet. That's 3-2 the score. Carblum with the 1-point escape. Now 3-2 with 40 seconds remaining. This is in the third period. Carblum back down underneath, grabs the leg. Boyce steps around, working for another takedown. So Carblum had to take the shot. Boyce finishes it. She's going to let up Carblum with 23 seconds remaining. Now 6-3 is the score. Carblum has 12 seconds to score a takedown. Takedown will tie it up here with Macy Boyce. Carblum's wading in with the collars, now goes over the top. Still nothing going. Carblum at the last, tries a headlock on Boyce. Boyce shrugs it off, and it's a win by decision. 6-3 for the state champion, Macy Boyce, over the state runner-up from Lisbon, Ava Carblum. Our duel now is 15-0 in favor of the Minot Majets. And we're going now to 170 pounds in our duel. So we're at 170, and Cora Ulster for Lisbon will take the open weight and the forfeit. So that duel score now 15-6. So our duel 15-6 between the Majets and the Broncos. Going out here. See, it should be 190 pounds. The wrestlers still checking into the table. Lisbon should have Nevaeh Buffett going out there. Buffett placed 5th at the state tournament. So it's her second appearance at state. And comes away with a 5th place finish at 190 pounds for Lisbon. And wrestlers still over at the table. Not sure if they're just having a hard time checking the wrestlers in or what's going on over there. It looks like this may be a good time to step away. We will step away as the Bank North scoreboard. It's a 15-6 lead for Minot, but we'll step away, take a word from our sponsors, come back in 30 seconds.
Let the geeks at GK Technology help you with your agricultural data. Their agronomists know agriculture. When it comes to creating soils and zone maps to maximize yields in your fields, you can trust the people with decades of experience in site-specific agriculture. Everyone at GK Technology has a background in agriculture, so they know what makes a farm run, and they speak your language. The geeks at GK Technology have a map and an app for that.
Hi, this is Jim, and with Bernie Berkemeyer, we're inviting you on a holiday vacations tour. Join us in enchanting Ireland June 25th to July 4th. Experience the ancient history, natural beauty, and the warm hospitality of Ireland. We travel across this beautiful country visiting places like the Kilkenny Castle and the breathtaking cliffs of Moher. Visit holidayvacations.com, keyword RJ for more information, or call 888-557-1020 for a free brochure.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hopepage.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
All right, hey, welcome back here, 11event.com. We're still in some technical difficulties over there on this matchup between the Lisbon Broncos and Minot Jets. They have to get some technical help over there as the dual score now 15-6 in favor of Minot. The Broncos picked up an open weight forfeit from the Majets at 170 pounds. We're going into 190 pounds. So it did have Nevaeh Buffett over there checking in for the Broncos. She plays fifth at the state tournament yesterday. Just to update you on some of these other duels happening for the girls' quarterfinals. Over on mat number 3, Central Cass and Dickinson. It's a 12-6 lead going into 170 pounds for Central Cass. They're up 12-6 over Dickinson. That was on mat number 3. Mat number 4 in the duel between Grand Forks and Bismarck. Now it's 24-12 in favor of the Bismarck Demons. They're at 100 pounds. That's over on mat number 4. And then on mat number 5, they're at 118 pounds. That duel's cooking along there. That's Bismarck Legacy up over the South Border Mustangs by a score of 48-6. So these duels did start at 142 pounds. They're already at 118 pounds over on mat number 5. This matchup between the Broncos and Majets, it's 15-6. As they're still trying to resolve these issues over there. And we do have the coverage on your live event for that Central Cass versus Dickinson duel with Chase Miller on the call for that. And then we have the boys consolation duel between Carrington and New Salem. You can find that also on a separate stream on yourliveevent.com. As now it looks like they have that issue cleared up. So take a look at our matchup now. Nevaeh Buffett taking on Jadens Fletcher. So Fletcher coming down. Looks like she comes down to wrestle Buffett. Fletcher normally up there at 250 pounds. And Nevaeh Buffett with a huge mat return. She picked up the takedown. She hits a big mat return on Jadens Fletcher. So Fletcher normally up there at 250 pounds. She's a sophomore, a state runner-up. She comes down to 190 pounds to wrestle Nevaeh Buffett. Buffett opened up with a takedown. Fletcher hits a roll on Buffett. Looks like we have a clasping call going against Buffett. Fletcher's able to roll through and hits the reversal, so we're tied up at 3. Fletcher in control on top. Buffett grabs the leg, catches Fletcher up over on the right side here. So Nevaeh Buffett and Fletcher now tied up at 3 apiece at 190 pounds. Fletcher in the top position for Minot, trying to work over the top with the cradle. Nevaeh Buffett up on her base, doing a little bit of hand fighting underneath. Fletcher's going to try to roll her over. She has the knee tucked to the back, going to roll over on Buffett. And squeezing those elbows together, Jadens Fletcher making the move down. The win by fall down here for Jadens Fletcher over Nevaeh Buffett. So Buffett came in with a nice takedown and a big mat return on Fletcher. Fletcher was able to recover, and with 28 seconds remaining, she wins by fall over Nevaeh Buffett. So that pin in 132 in the first period for Jadens Fletcher. Now it's a 21-6 lead going into 250 pounds. So now the Broncos bring out their fourth place finisher at 250 pounds, Ella Sad. We'll see if this way also open as Jadens Fletcher dropping down. That's a forfeit there for Ella Sad. So our dual score now 21-12 going into 100 pounds. This is kind of going now back into the teeth of the lineup here for Minot. The Broncos do have a number of wrestlers down there. Melina Repsum looks like she's going out there at 100 pounds for Lisbon. At 100 pounds, they had Ella Brown. Minot had Ella Brown place 5th at the state tournament. So we'll see what this matchup is between Melina Repsum. Repsum last year state qualifier for Lisbon. As these wrestlers out there in the collar tie doing a lot of pushing here in the first 15 seconds of this match. And that is Ella Brown. So state place winner Ella Brown taking on Melina Repsum. Brown working up over the top, snaps down. Repsum has a front headlock there, far center edge. Repsum's going to go in on a leg and drives her out of bounds. Repsum with the attack on the leg, able to get a restart as they go off that far center edge of the mat. Repsum going into Brown. Brown's able to circle back around, takes her back towards the center of the mat, still working collar ties. There's a minute 15 remaining in this first period. And Central Cass and Dickinson trading blows over there. That's an 18-12. Now a pin by Nevaeh Hipsack. We'll make that 24-12 in favor of Central Cass in the girls dual team tournament. That's over there on mat number 3, coverage by Chase Miller. There's a takedown there for Repsum. She's going to hit a duck under, was able to spin behind Ella Brown of Minot, and the headgear come off here for Repsum. So it's a 3-0 lead for Melina Repsum with 46 seconds remaining in the first period. She goes back to reset the headgear. The officials out there having a discussion. And the 1-point escape. So not sure if that was a loss of control that they gave up or what the 1 point went to. As they're still working on the headgear over there of Melina Repsum. So the officials did talk about it. They're going to say that was a 1-point loss of control. We're 3-1 at 100 pounds over here on mat number 6. Repsum scores first with the takedown. Broncos down by a score of 21-12 in the duel. They're now at 100 pounds. And Repsum back in, working over the top. And another takedown for Melina Repsum. Repsum strings 2 takedowns together in this first period. She has the 6-1 lead over Ella Brown of Minot. As Brown plays 5th in the state tournament. Repsum takes the 6-1 lead in the first. Choice goes over to Repsum. She'll defer over to Ella Brown of Minot. Once again, that dual score now 21-12. We'll see if that scoreboard guy can keep up. Your other duels inside the dome on mat number 5. Bismarck Legacy is up over Southport by a score of 48-6. They're still at 118 pounds. A couple of state place winners going out there between Elisa Kenfack and Alyssa Nitschke. And that mat number 3, Central Cass Dickinson duel, they're at 100 pounds. That's now 24-12 in favor of Central Cass. Back here on mat number 6 with the Lisbon. It looks like Ella Brown was working on some near fall. So it is 2 near fall over there for Ella Brown. And now the score is 6-3. Brown in the top position, working on the arm, chops it. here on Rebsum. She's going to that arm lever, stuck the forehead in the back of the tricep. Now goes hammerlock across the back on Melina Rebsum. Bars it up. She catches that far wrist. Rebsum here has a minute to fight off this armbar by Ella Brown. Brown now with the hammerlock. She's going to duck underneath the far arm and catches that wrist across the back. So she's got that arm barred up across the back. She goes around the head. Now goes to cow catcher. Rebsum able to get back up to her feet. Double unders, and Brown throws her down to the mat with those double unders. She steps into it. Rebsum's going to try to get back to her belly. Brown readjusts. Rebsum rolls through on the edge of the mat. Brown sits back. Rebsum still trying to bridge out and roll through. The official down there. There's still 23 seconds left in this second period. 6-3 lead, but Brown, she'll have some near fall coming to her. The final 15 seconds of our second period. Ella Brown in the pinning combination has the head scoop. Rebsum still trying to bridge out of there. She did have the 6-3 lead. She was up 6-1 after the first period. Rebsum able to get back to her base. And the 4 near fall puts Ella Brown of Minot up 7-6. Rebsum has choice. She's going to choose neutral, as she did score the 2 takedowns in the first period. So Ella Brown with the choice goes neutral. So that's a 7-6 lead for Ella Brown over Melina Rebsum. Brown scored 6 near fall. Now she's going to go head and arm on Rebsum, gets it into the headlock. She throws Rebsum down. Rebsum's going to come back around, so we do have a takedown in near fall. Rebsum still trying to come back over the top. Brown keeps the headlock, throws Rebsum back down. It's 10-6 score, or lead for Ella Brown. Rebsum still trying to roll through. Brown has that arm tucked way around the head and the neck on Rebsum. Now she's going to readjust. Rebsum still trying to roll through. They're on that far edge of the mat over by the Minot coaches. So Ella Brown sits into it, and the win by fall for Brown. And now the dual score, 27-12. With that 6-point pinfall, we're now at 106 pounds. So we're going up to 106. As Minot leads the Broncos by a score of 27-12. Brown with the come from behind win. She was down 6-1 at the end of the first period to go. Brings us to 106 pounds. So the Broncos will send out Addison Booman. This is Addison's first state tournament appearance in either individuals or the dual tournament. So she's wrestling Monica Boyke of Minot. Boyke at 106 pounds plays fourth at the state tournament. She picks up the takedown. Working up over the top, has a half Nelson on Booman. Booman able to counter that, peels it off, keeps her head up. Now scoots the hips up back underneath her. So Monica Boyke working underneath, now goes up, spirals the wrist on the right side, going back to the half Nelson. Trying to crossface. Booman doing a good job trying to keep that head up. So Addison right now broke belly down. Center edge of the mat here on the near side. There's 55 seconds remaining. It's a 3-0 lead for Monica Boyke. Now goes hard crossface by Boyke. Booman peels it off, trying to get up. Not able to stand up. Boyke breaks her back, belly down, turns her around, spins her back towards the center of the mat. So Booman, an 8th grader for the Broncos with that 12-15 record. Boyke plays fourth at the state tournament this year for Minot. She has a half Nelson. She's rolling over. Addison Booman has the arm stretched out. The half Nelson buried up to her elbow. The official down there right towards the center of the mat with the good look. Counting out the near fall. Final 10 seconds of our first period here for Bowman. So see if she can make it into the second period. And they're called out as Boyke made the adjustment. She kind of jumped over the top trying to get a little more leverage on Bowman, and that put her off the mat. So they go back to the center for a restart. And it's a 6-0 lead. So it looks like it's 6-0 lead for Monica Boyke with the 3 near fall, the 3 takedown in that first period. They're going into the second period with a 6-0 lead for Monica Boyke of Minot. So off the whistle on this restart in the second period with a minute 50. Boyke in the top position. She goes double thigh pry on Bowman. Now goes to spiral the wrist on that right side. Bowman works underneath, trying to work some hand control. Momentarily was able to get up to her knees. Not able to post the outside leg for the stand-up, so she's broke back down on her base. Here for Addison Bowman. Boyke goes back, works the ankle. Bowman now broke belly down in the center of the, or off the far center edge of the mat. Here's Boyke going in. Now goes back, works the leg, throws in the half Nelson on Bowman. Bowman able to shrug it off. Boyke goes back to it, now scoops the head. A swipe of 1 count by the official. Boyke's going to go in. She readjusts, scoops the head again, goes elbow deep. Catches the far arm. She's going to try to stretch that out and work for a fall with 48 seconds remaining in the second period. Here's Monica Boyke trying to put some more points on the board for Minot. The official down there has a good look. He's in the center of the mat. They're just off the center edge. And the win by fall for Monica Boyke. And now the dual score is 33-12. So 33-12 going into 112 pounds. So it looks like Maddie Krellen going out for the Lisbon Broncos. Krellen making it into the state tournament as a 7th grader for Lisbon. Well, Lisbon with a lot of good young wrestlers on their team. Seen another one here. The 7th grader, Maddie Krellen, she goes down right away, 3-0 with that takedown. So Kylie Schlotz of Minot picks up the 3-0 lead with the takedown. They're back to the center of the mat, and that was a win by fall. And the quick pin over there for Kylie Schlotz. So more points on the board. Now 39-12. Going into 118 pounds. So quick fall. Might have been one of the quicker ones of the tournament the past 2 days. Now going into day 3. And in mat number 6 here, 118 pounds, Madison Racine taking on Arlie Romerman. Our score 39-12 in favor of Minot. Romerman, a state qualifier last year for Lisbon, not making it to the big dance this year. And Racine, a state runner-up at 118 pounds. She scores the takedown. So she's in control on top. On Romerman, works a crossface. She's going to step up head to knee. Trying to lock those hands together. Romerman trying to fight off. She's got that bottom hand. Her left hand trying to fight the grip of Racine. Racine's going to take another big step up towards the head. Still working that cradle. Romerman now cracked down to the mat, has the hip on the mat. Racine steps up one more time. Romerman able to stretch out. So 3-0 lead. Our score now in the duel, 39-12 in favor of Minot. The Broncos picking up a couple forfeits. At 170 pounds and then at 250 for those 12 points. Racine has an armbar locked up. She's walking it around on Arlie Romerman. Romerman giving up near fall. Still a 3-0 lead. The official down there takes a look at it. Goes back to it once again. Armbar rocks it around. The official down there. The final 10 seconds of our first period. So it looks like Madison Racine will pick up the near fall. Romerman still bridging out. Trying to keep those shoulders up off the mat. Right side up by plenty. And the 4 near fall. So 7-0 at the end of the first period for Madison Racine, the state runner-up at 118 pounds. She chooses to go neutral with Romerman. Another double leg shot by Madison Racine. Racine just got low. Romerman kind of tall and lanky. Racine just started out with a low stance. Knew what she wanted to do right away. Double leg blast into it. Scores the takedown now up 10-0. Goes to work right away on Romerman. Spirals on the right side wrist. Comes back over the top. Now shoots a half Nelson. Goes to the armbar on the left side. Has the spiral. Now goes bar half. Romerman still trying to counter out. Minute 20 remaining in the first period. Or I should say in the second period. 10-0 is the score in the match. 39-12 is our dual score. Racine has it walked around again, picking up near fall on the pin for Madison Racine of Minot. So she wins by fall over Arlie Romerman in the second period. And that's 6 more points. $45-12, our dual score. Going into 124 pounds, brings up our state qualifier here with Lila Gillespie. Gillespie placed 8th at the region tournament, had a great match, that blood round match. Sudden victory. Pulled out the win, makes it into the state tournament in the top 8 from the East region for the individuals. So she's a state qualifier for the Broncos. Coming out here wrestling Aaliyah LeBoy. And this is scoreless in the first period. So here at 124 pounds. So Gillespie, state qualifier for Lisbon. Aaliyah Boy not making it to the state tournament for Minot. So low stance by Gillespie, a little stance motion. Nice shot, double leg, high crotch shot by Gillespie. She's trying to turn the corner using the head. The boy's going to come down, cracks over the top. Gillespie has a great high crotch shot, just not able to finish it at times. And the boy steps around for the takedown, so she gets the go behind. Now 3-0 lead for Aaliyah LeBoy, working the arm and the wrist up underneath, trying to walk this around. Gillespie on her base, hasn't gone over yet. Now LeBoy gets her over. And the official slaps the mat in the win by fall for Aaliyah LeBoy of Minot. Sorry, that was at 124 pounds. Brings us to 130 pounds. The Broncos normally open. We'll see if they have anybody down there for the state dual tournament. So 51-12 going into 130 pounds. So Violet Heen for the Broncos. First year wrestler for Lisbon, wrestling Haley Carr of Minot. Carr right away on a double leg shot. Violet Heen has the head caught. She goes right to her back, not able to get rid of that head. So it looks like we do have a 3-point takedown, but no near fall awarded. After the takedown, Carr goes to work on top here at 130 pounds. Our duel score right now, 51-12. We'll take a look at some of these other duels over on mat number 3, Central Cass and Dickinson. Right now, Central Cass is up 34-18. So the Broncos, looks like if the score stands, they will face Dickinson in the next round, the consolation rounds. As Haley Carr works around, and the win by fall for Haley Carr of Minot at 130 pounds, going up to 136. This will be the last match of the duel, as we did start at 142 pounds. So that is 57-12 in favor of Minot. And Emerson Schwab going out for the Broncos. And now a 3-time state place winner, as she's placed 4th at the state tournament in 2025. As the only 2 girls duels now are Central Cass and Dickinson, and then Minot and Lisbon. See if we can take a look at those final results from the other duels in that state girls duel tournament. And we are with a minute 30 remaining. We're scoreless. Schwab goes in on a double leg shot. And a big sprawl. Schwab back up on her feet. The wrestler is now back circling, working some hand control. Schwab with the first double leg shot on Peyton Russell of Minot. And the 3-point takedown going to Emerson Schwab. Peyton Russell, state qualifier at 136 pounds for Minot. And just to update you on those other dual scores, first round action, quarterfinal rounds. It was Bismarck Legacy big over South Porter by a score of 63-12. And still looking for the Grand Forks. Looks like Grand Forks is still out there. And that duel is complete. I'll see if I can find that dual score for you if they get this bracket upgraded. So Schwab still in control on top, works underneath, goes to the half Nelson on Russell. Their final 10 seconds of this first period. And Schwab leads 3-0. Schwab in control on top, and that's the end of the period. And going into the second, Schwab in the bottom position. Broncos down here at 136 pounds, 57-12. This is the last match of the duel. I like that they're wrestling it despite the score. So you might as well, you're in the state dual team tournament, give your wrestlers that experience. Broncos make it to the state duels on the girls' side for the first time. There's a bar half put on by Russell. Schwab in a little bit of trouble. In the potentially dangerous call, Russell had that arm bar exceed that 90 degrees across the back, went to the 45 across the shoulder blade, so they're called back to the center of the mat with a minute 34 remaining in the second period. And we will take a look at a quick rundown of those boys duels in that quarterfinal round. So the quarterfinal duel, it was Belleville over Pembina County North in the boys side, 46-24. Oaks down Williams County, 31-30. Then it was South Porter, the number 1 seed, over Carrington by a score of 43-22. And Bowman County Beach beat the number 5 seed, so the number 4 Bowman County Beach over the number 5 New Salem Almont Holsteins by a score of 41-28. Consolation round duel completed. Williams County over Pembina County North by a score of 54-24. That's in the boys state Class B dual tournament. And back out here in the girls' duel between my Jets and the Broncos. Here's Schwab trying to work a Peterson roll. Russell in the top position has been working over Schwab. Had her in the bar half. Now Schwab hits the Peterson. Working for some near fall. The official down there is going to count. He gave the reversal. Russell back up. Now she had 3 near fall for Schwab. Russell reverses it. So the 2 reversal. So now it's an 8-2 score. Schwab picked up the reversal and near fall. She did have the first takedown of the match. Now 8-2 score, 33 seconds remaining in the second period. Schwab has to go back to the restart in the bottom position. As they were on the edge of the mat. Russell, when she got back on top, they went out. Now nice Grammy roll through by Schwab. Goes up to the crossface, the 2-point reversal. Here for Emerson Schwab. She goes right away into the crossface. Nice chain wrestling. Goes into the butcher, or the screwdriver as we like to call it. You just try to walk around the head, pull those shoulders over, and then you screw them into the mat here. Schwab has Russell going on her hip. See if she can drag this over and walk around the head. Final 5 seconds of the second period. That dual score 57-21. We're at 136 pounds. Schwab trying to pick up the first head-to-head win of this duel for the Broncos. And should say in their state tournament appearance, their first state tournament. Broncos did receive a couple forfeits at 170 pounds and 250. As Jaden Fletcher, the state runner-up for Minot at 250 pounds, dropped down to wrestle Lisbon's Nevaeh Buffett. Buffett opened up that match with a quick takedown, but then Fletcher took control of that and won by fall at the end of the first period over Buffett. Schwab in control on top with 1:35. Spirals the wrist on the right side. Looks like she's trying to work a half on the far side. I should say on the left side. Now goes back to the crossface. And Russell doing a good job keeping those hips turned away from this. It's like a half Nelson. Spiral the wrist. Now Schwab has to readjust. She is up 10-2, up by 8 points in the second, or I should say in the third period with 1:05 remaining. So Schwab up 10-2, goes back to the crossface, working back on the leg, gets Russell broke back down to her belly. Russell hanging on to the wrist, trying to pass it over the head and build her base. Schwab goes back to work on top. Now a power half by Schwab. She has that arm up over the backside of the neck. Goes back to the power half now on the opposite side. So she's still working, trying to score more points here for the Broncos. Final 30 seconds of our third period here at 136 pounds. 57-12 is the score. We will recap the score and then give you that Tim Kazed Seed Sales Golden Harvest scoreboard update with all the action this far in the both boys and girls dual team tournament. Give you that wrap up before we have to cut away for a break. But we will have the consolation round duel here for the Lisbon Broncos. It looks like they will take on Dickinson. That dual score now 38-18 in favor of the Central Cass Squirrels. And that's the final. Emerson Schwab wins by major decision 10-2. The Broncos with 4 more points. Your final dual score is 57-16 in favor of Minot. Minot on the individual side, the past 2 days, they are the state champions for the individual girls state tournament. And they were the number 2 team in duels out of the West. They faced Lisbon. Lisbon earned the number 3 spot. So your final score, 57-16. As we will step away and we'll come back, wrap this thing up with that Tim Kazed Seed Sales scoreboard update. And then we will cut away. We'll come back for another stream for the consolation round duel between the Lisbon Broncos and the Dickinson Midgets. That's one just ahead. You have to cut away, come back to another stream on that one. And we will have another pre-tournament show, pre-game show also for that. So tune in right around 15 minutes before that duel You're on yourliveevent.com, but we'll be back. We'll hand out our wrestlers, Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Dual Legacy Egg Precision Move of the Match, and then our HTC Connection of the Match here. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
The friendly staff at Lemoore Drugstore reminds you from prescription requests and OTC medication, you can find it all at Lemoore Drugstore. Stay prepared for the bitter cold with our heated gear line, from boot and glove liners to body wraps, scarves, and more. Rechargeable Bluetooth and disposable options are available. Located in the center of Lemoore in the Bank North Mall. For more info, go to LemooreDrugstore.com. That's LemooreDrugstore.com, or stop in and check us out. Good luck to all the wrestlers, and go Lobos. Maple Valley Parents is a nonprofit organization whose main purpose is to promote, encourage, and support the Maple Valley students, teachers, and staff. MVP strives to strengthen and enhance the educational and social environment of the Maple Valley School District by providing opportunities for students, teachers, and parents to learn, socialize, communicate, and grow together. MVP Group welcomes anyone to join them in their mission. If you'd like to get involved or see upcoming events, check out the Maple Valley Parents Facebook page.
Valley School District has formed a VEX Robotics Club. The club is open to students in grades 5 through 12. Beyond science and engineering principles, robotics allows students to learn the fundamentals of the engineering design process, creativity, problem solving, teamwork, and public speaking. More information can be found at myraiders.org. That's myraiders.org. And click on the Activities tab to learn more information about the Maple Valley School District VEX Robotics Club.
Hey, welcome back to yourliveevent.com. As our final result, it was the Minot Jets over the Lisbon Broncos in this quarterfinal duel, 57-16. And just go ahead and give you that Tim Kazed seed sale scoreboard update here with these duels inside the Fargo Dome in the quarterfinal round. It's Center Cass over Dickinson by a score of 38-18. That'll be, looks like that's Lisbon's next duel in the consolation rounds. That one will start at approximately 1 p.m. So you should be able to tune in right around 12:45 for that pre-tournament, pre-match show or pre-duel show. You're setting up that duel between between Dickinson and Lisbon. So Central Cass does lead that there at 124 pounds, 38-18. And then your other duels in the quarterfinals, it was Bismarck Legacy over Southborder by a score of 63-12. And then Bismarck defeated Grand Forks by a score of 60-18. So that semifinal on the bottom side of the bracket is Bismarck Legacy versus Bismarck Demons. And then that consolation round duel is the Southborder Mustangs versus Grand Forks on the bottom side of the bracket. Top side of the bracket, the Minot Jets will face the Central Cass Squirrels. And then in the consolation rounds, it will be the Lisbon Broncos on the top side facing Dickinson. So that is your semifinals and consolation round duels here on the Girls State Dual Tournament. We'll take a look and turn to the boys down there as the boys duel still going on in the consolation round. That looks like Carrington wrestling New Salem. Currently that score looks like it's 43-14 in favor of New Salem. They're at 145 pounds, so I think that'll be the last match down there between New Salem and Carrington. But take a look at your first round action, your quarterfinal action, the North Dakota Boys Dual Team Tournament. That was Velva over Pembina County North. The number 2 team, Velva, 46-24 over Pembina County North. The number 3 seed, Oaks Tornadoes, over Williams County by a score of 31-30. So your semifinal matchup is Velva and Oaks on the top side. Number 1 team, Southborder Mustangs, down Carrington by a score of 43-22. And then the number 4, number 5 duel down there. Number 4 seed, Bowman County Beach, downed the number 5 seed, New Salem Almont Holsteins by a score of 41-28. And then in that first round consolation duel between Pembina County North and Williams County defeated Pembina County by a score of 54-24. And it looks like right now, New Salem Almont's up over Carrington by a score of 43-14. That's at 145 pounds out there on the east side of the Fargo Dome. So that is your dual action so far in the North Dakota girls dual team tournament, and then the North Dakota Class B state dual team tournament here inside the Fargo Dome. So go ahead and give our Enbridge Energy wrestler of the duel, here for Lisbon and Minot. Life takes energy from Enbridge, energy for life, and Enbridge.com for your career opportunities. And their Enbridge Energy wrestler of the duel is going to Jade Fletcher of the Minot Majets. She comes down from 250 pounds. She's a state runner-up, wrestling the state place winner of the Lisbon Broncos, Nevaeh Buffett, and Fletcher came out in that match. She went down early 3-0 and mounted the comeback in that first period and eventually won by fall over Nevaeh Buffett of the Lisbon Broncos. So making the Enbridge Energy wrestler of the duel, wrestler of the match. That's going to go out to Jadence Fletcher of the Minot Majets. And your Agassi Egg Precision move of the match. So for that Agassi Egg Precision move of the match, that one is going out at 112 pounds. So a 112-pound match in that duel. And that was to Kylie Schlotz of Minot, as she defeated Maddie Krellen by fall in 22 seconds. Hit the takedown, took Krellen right to her back for a 22-second pin, the fastest of the duel. And she is your Agassi Egg Precision move of the match for Agassi Precision Egg in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2119. That's 701-436-2119, or visit plannerdoc.com. That's your Agassi Egg Precision move of the match. And then your HTC connection of the match from the Halstead Telephone Company. That's your HTC connection of the match. Discover local reliability you can trust at Halstead Telephone. It's how to connect at halsteadtel.com, and that's going out to Emerson Schwab with the Lisbon Broncos. Emerson in the match at 136 pounds picks up the win by a major decision over Peyton Russell. Schwab with that nice Peterson roll in the second period was able to break open the match, pulled ahead by a score of 8-2. She eventually finished it out by a score of 10-2 and won by a major decision, picking up the Broncos' first head-to-head win in a state dual competition. Just like to mention, the Broncos did pick up a couple of forfeits, but Schwab picking up that first head-to-head victory for Lisbon in dual competition at the state tournament here at 136 pounds. She is your HTC connection of the match, or connection of the duel. Here as your final, Minot downs Lisbon by a score of 57-16. Your next duel for the Lisbon girls at approximately 1 p.m. We'll have our pre-tournament, pre-duel show at 12:45 as the Lisbon Broncos will face Dickinson in the topside consolation round duel. And then in the semifinal, it's Central Cass versus Minot. Your other consolation round duel on the girls' side is South Border versus Grand Forks. And the other bottom side semifinal, Bismarck Legacy, the Sabres versus the Bismarck Demons. So that's how we're set up here going into those 1 p.m. duels for your North Dakota State girls dual tournament. As we will step away, this is Brent Dick on YourLiveEvent.com. We'll step away, come back at around 12:45 for the Lisbon Broncos versus the Dickinson Midgets. That's just ahead. Consolation girls state tournament action on YourLiveEvent.com.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
When you think about North Dakota State College of Science, don't think about college. Don't think about desks. Don't think about buildings. Don't think about our expert instructors or our high-tech classrooms. Think about that new pickup you'll soon be driving. Think about decorating your first apartment. Think about that great job that's already waiting for you. Then, think about how you'll be doing all of those things in just 2 years. North Dakota State College of Science, the smarter way to college.